What's up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Real Housewives of Orange County. This is season 17, episode 14. So let's get into it. All right, y'all. So the episode opens up where we left off. The ladies are in Mexico. They're having dinner, and Heather and Emily they getting at it. They is getting at it. And they open it up with Emily doing the hand gesture. Just because you do this does not make it true. And I think Heather at that point was just like, man, I'm tired of y'all. I am tired of y'all. So she got up and went to the bathroom. Tamra follows her. And while she's in the bathroom, you got Emily sitting at the table venting her frustrations and talking about how telling Shannon like, yo, she told me you said something, but then she was like not gonna tell me. She was like, it's in the vault. And this is my thing. I can understand Emily's frustrations. Like if you tell me somebody was talking trash about me, and then when I ask you what did they say, and you're like, oh, I'm not gonna tell you, it's in the vault. I'm gonna get an attitude with you, because why the hell you tell me if you're not gonna tell me what they said? And I'm also the type of person, if you gonna tell me something, give me details. Was it hot outside? Was it cold? What did the person have on? What time was it? Like, I want to know. Set the scene for me. Come on now. So I understand Emily's frustrations, but the issue is Emily has been coming at Heather since they had that situation at Nobu. Then you have her argue. They're like yelling at. Yeah, she apologized for yelling at her at Nobu. Then she got at her at the impersonation party or the lookalike party, and it's just like, what really is your issue with Heather? And what it feels like to me when it comes to Emily is like, it feels like she's trying to suck up or kiss ass to Shannon and Tamra. Now that I feel like she feels like Shannon and Tamra are about to be the big dogs in town again, and she's trying to get cool with them. Because I don't know, maybe they feel like Heather's on her way out, so Emily's just like, I don't have to be cool with her anymore, like she about to be gone, because maybe they did not think Tamra was gonna come back in a full capacity. But Emily being upset with Heather has been weird. Like, I got why she was frustrated with her at Nobu, because I can see Emily being like, you're being fake right now, and her calling it out. But every other time, it's like, you just been real like, yeah with that lady. Like, leave her alone. Like, good God. So then Shannon finally breaks I guess her vow of silence, or her oath of silence, about her situation with John. And she basically says, like, she tells the girls at the table, she's like, me and John have regular issues, regular issues. Like, Heather's trying to make it seem like it's more than what it is. And so she explains that John is a runner and she has abandonment issues. Basically, when they have arguments, John leaves. He just leaves her to deal with her emotions, and he doesn't really help her process or stays to really resolve the situation. She also says that, like, in the beginning of their relationship, like she told Tamra, John and her were like always together. It was like, back to back, just always kicking it. And now that their relationship has gotten the relationship kind of got like stale and probably inconsistent, in the sense that she was like, it's no longer how it used to be in the beginning. So she was like, that stuff kind of just tears her down. Like, when he leaves, it freaks me out because I have abandonment issues. So then Jim speaks up, and she was just kind of like, I just don't understand, Shannon. Like, you are having these issues with your man. Why were you hoping that there was a situation with me and mine? And so they do a flashback where I think it was Tamra. No, not Tamra. I think it was Taylor, Jen, Emily, and Gina. And they were doing like yoga, I think at Jen's yoga studio, where Jen is like, Shannon has been nothing but nice to me. She's cool, yada, yada, yada. But then Gina speaks up and she's like, honestly, she ain't really been that nice or that great of a friend to you. She actually told us, like, when we were at Emily's pool party, that we were going to get into some things about your relationships. And Emily co-signs that. She's like, yeah, she really did say, like, there's some more juicy stuff about your relationship. So Jen confronts Shannon about that. And Shannon basically said, yeah, I did say it, and I apologize for that. But she was like, I have heard that there's more stuff about your relationship that we don't know. So in her confessional, Jen basically says that a girl that I guess used to frequent Tamra's gym the same way that Jen frequent the gym came up to her and told her that Tamra asked her for like information on Ryan. And while Jen is explaining herself, Tamra confessional pops up, and Tamra has a totally different story where she's like, no, the girl got into it with Ryan. Her and Ryan used to mess around, and she just started sending me text message after text message after text message about their relationship and how that they were together. I never went looking for that information. And for some reason it feels weird. Like I believe both stories in a way. I believe that Tamra went looking for information on Jen, but I also believe that that girl could possibly get into an argument with Ryan and want to send all their dirty laundry out to Tamra because she know Tamra gonna tell Jen. But the thing about it is, why not just send that information to Jen? We're not gonna act like people who are like side pieces, like whether you're a girl or a boy or anything in between, when you get played by the person you are deciding to be a side piece for, that you don't try to like air them out to like their significant other or to their family or to blast them online. So that's not like uncommon, but I don't understand why you sending all of this stuff to Tamra unless this girl know Tamra got a big mouth and has no problem spreading it around the world. But hey, so everybody's just like, all right. So we flash back to Tamra and Heather talking in the little bathroom area. And Heather pretty much is like, man, I'm tired of being like this the scapegoat for everything. She's like, every time I'm like hanging out with y'all, there's an issue. Like I'm the like everyone has an issue with me. And she's like, I find it odd that like Emily is constantly coming at me and I don't understand what I did to like warrant this behavior from her. So then Tamara is kind of like, yeah, like that was a lot. So while they're standing in the thing, Tamara's like, well, you want to go celebrate the selling of your house? And she's like, Heather's like, no, I don't want to celebrate with y'all no more. Y'all killed the vibe. And honestly, the thing about it is like, don't get me wrong. I love me some Heather Dubrow. And I know she a snooty booty. And I know she can come off condescending at times. We've seen her be condescending at times. Like, I get why people wouldn't want to be around Heather. Like, it takes a certain personality not to feel small around Heather, who is smart. Her husband is smart. He's a doctor. They're worth millions of dollars. Like, I can understand why these women are intimidated or uncomfortable around Heather. But, like, make it make sense. Like, Heather to me hasn't done anything so egregious this season to warrant everybody being down her throat the way they've been, especially from Emily. Like, I get Shannon feeling some type of way with the whole you telling my business, even though we find out that you get drunk and tell your own business, Shannon. But I can get where Shannon is coming from. Emily, I don't get why she has such a hard on for not Shannon, but Heather right now. So they walk back out to the table, and Heather does what she does best and gifts everybody gift bags because she made like signature gifts and she wanted everyone to receive them. So they go back to the room and it's the next morning. We know that I don't think I told you guys the room placements. So everybody had the room together, but they're living in like suites. So it's like a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom suite. So Jen and Taylor are together. Shannon and Tamara are together. And then Heather, Emily, and Gina are together. So it's the next morning. Everyone's waking up. Everyone's calling their people and all that stuff. We see Jen call Ryan. He's asking about if her and Tamara got cool yet. And she was like, not really. We cool. Heather calls Terry and tells him about what happened last night. And he was like, wow, they really wasn't happy for you. And he's like, that's not very nice. And Heather really said, she was like, if they come at me again, I'm done. And I don't know if I'm done means I'm done with the show or I'm done with this trip. I'm coming home. But it's sounding like I feel like she would say I'm coming home versus I'm done. I think she might be trying to I think Heather might be on her way out, which, I mean, she don't need the money. She really doesn't. Like, girl, I think Heather is probably worth like $70 million. I mean, we know she worth 55 after selling that home. But like Terry's just like, no, have a good day, like don't let it bring you down. So we see the other ladies eating. So I think it's Jen, Taylor, Shannon, and Tamra eating. And Tamra was like, I offered for Heather to come stay because they're like, I wonder if how Heather's doing. And Tamra tries to speak up for Heather and be like, I don't think she means to be that way, I just think that's her. But then Shannon's like, no, like she's done very assholey things to me, so I'm just not gonna say that's her. So Emily and Gina are like sitting on the balcony eating breakfast, and they're wondering where Heather is, and Heather finally comes out and they talk. And Heather pretty much is like, I don't know what happened last night, but I don't understand what's up between us. And then Emily apologizes again. She was like, you know what? If you really felt like I was being a jerk at your party, I apologize for that. And she was like, I really care about our friendship. You don't care about the friendship. You just like to apologize so you can say, well, I said sorry, so y'all could move on, but y'all not really gonna move on. Y'all are not gonna move on. So and then they show the flashbacks because Emily even said in her confessional, I'm gonna say sorry, but I'm probably gonna do it again. Then what was the purpose of you apologizing if you were gonna do it again? I'd rather you not apologize to me and give me this like false sense of hope that you're gonna correct your behavior versus you not apologize at all. You know what I mean? Versus you apologizing, I mean, and you're just gonna repeat the same behavior. That's lame to me. And so then Gina speaks up about like being upset that Heather didn't tell them about like her selling her home. She says she signed an NDA. Like, if me breaking my NDA was gonna make me lose $55 million, I would never tell y'all nothing. Like, what are you talking? $55 million is generational wealth. What are you talking about, bro? So, Heather, like, they then show us a flashback of Heather and Gina talking that night. Like, I guess in one of the little cabana areas, and Heather's like, you know, I really wanted to tell you, but I just been feeling like every time I share things with y'all kind of trash it. And Gina's like, I don't do that, girl, like I'm here with you. Gina, you kind of do. Like, and that's the weird thing. Gina talking about like, I'm her friend. Are you really? Because in the beginning of the season, she verbatim said you don't invite her to nowhere, and she would like you to invite her to places. Are y'all really friends like that? Like that? Okay. So the ladies all head to the cenote. They go ATV riding. It's fun. If you ever get the opportunity to go to Mexico and go swim in a cenote and go ATV riding, it's it's just fun. It was a good time. Now, I would have not done that 36 drop, like the drop into the cenote like Emily. That is too high for me. But I did do the zip lining like Tamra and Jen. The funny thing about it is though, as I was like surprised that they didn't have them wear life jackets because them cenotes are deep. They are deep. And like I had to have on a life jacket. Like you could tell who was a good swimmer and not. And I can swim, but like the locals that lived in the area that were swimming in the cenote with us, the way like they were fish. The way them people was dipping and doing it in that water, and it is such like a serene and beautiful place if you ever get a chance to like visit a cenote. Like the history they told us is that like people back in the day saw cenotes as like the entrance to the underworld, and in the sense they were like, it wasn't like a bad thing, it was just places where they did a lot of rituals and stuff like that, and like ceremonies. Like the water was meant to be special. So like I don't know, when we went swimming in one, it was just like so peaceful and like so calming and stuff. It was a good time. So Gina finally conquered, I guess, her fear of water. That lady said she wasn't really taking baths. I hope she was taking showers though. I Lord, I pray she was taking showers because it's nasty to admit. That is so nasty to admit. So then everybody goes back to their rooms. They get back to the resort and they're all trying to get ready because I think at night they're gonna go see like Cirque du Soleil. Like, did I say Dick? Oh my god, Cirque du Soleil. They're supposed to go see it, and I think they have like a private show. So we see Shannon and Tamra getting ready, and then next thing you know, you hear a knock at the door, and they open the door. It's Vicky going, wow. I was like, oh my God, Vicky. But Vicky screaming, they're surprised that she's there because they invited Vicky, but they were not sure if she was going to come. They were kind of like, oh, I don't think she's gonna come, but she showed up. Like Shannon was getting emotional. She said the best time she's ever had have been with Tres Amigas. Like they're just all excited to be in Mexico together. Vicky's like, let's whoop it up. And then they all kind of got on the same colors. Like they were all wearing like different variations of pink. And all I could think is like, I wonder how the other ladies are gonna feel with Vicky being there. So they finally get down to dinner. Everyone sees Vicky and they're like, oh my gosh. Like Heather actually is clapping and like, oh hey Vicky. Jen and not Jen. Jen is kind of happy to see her, but Gina and Emily are like, ugh. Because, Vicky was talking very negatively about them in the press. I think she said they weren't really relevant to the show and that she thinks they should have got fired, not her. Vicky was saying some crazy things. She was saying a lot of crazy things. But they're just kind of like, we're just gonna roll with the punches. She's here, we're just gonna roll with it. So the ladies go to the Cirque du Soleil performance. They thought it was wonderful. And then they said, you know what, it's time to get drunk and whoop it up. And I said, come on, whoop it up. See, and I think I'm drawing comparisons because I watched Atlanta, New York, and OC today all in one. Well, not all in one, but one after the other. And this is why I said the girls don't like each other. You got the girls on Atlanta, they don't even have fun together anymore. But you can tell that there's people clearly in this group that don't like each other in OC, but they're still getting drunk and having a good time. And then when you think about New York, those ladies are in Anguilla, and I ain't seen nobody get drunk yet or run around naked. And they don't even got to do that, but like have fun. There's no fun. I want fun. But they are like, okay, we about to get drunk. Everybody come to Shannon, Tamra, and Vicky's room. So everyone puts on their pajamas. Then Tamra gives everybody these swimsuits that are like, that have men bods on them, like the hairy beer gut, like abs and whatever. So everyone's like, oh, okay. And we find out that they're going to go to like a private like beach club or whatever, which was nice, by the way, like really nice. And they're gonna go hang out and have a good time there. And so she was like, Tamara was like, everybody wear their outfit. You could kind of see Shannon wasn't really with it, but she for the time being, she was just gonna keep her mouth shut. So they start playing Truth or Dare. Jim does Truth or Dare with she does Truth or Dare to Vicky, and Vicky says truth. And Jen is like, dang, I wish you would have said dare because we really don't know each other like that. So I don't know what to ask. And then Vicky was like, well, we have a mutual friend. But basically, I'm figuring out that me and you, we both have been in relationship with men that don't deserve us. Or we both love men that don't deserve us. And everybody's like, huh? And it got so awkward. And so then someone asked Vicky, are you talking about Ryan? And she was like, who? And like you can tell Vicky was drunk. Tamara's just drinking. And then Jen is just like, she was shocked, but it's like, that's the thing. Jen either has the shocked face, like, oh my God, like, oh, but she doesn't like have a big reaction. And then after she has that face, she kind of gets kind of stoic and she doesn't say anything. But that night ended there because everyone was like, ooh girl, the vibe is shot now. So Jen goes back to her room. Taylor stays with the other ladies, with Vicky, Tamra, and Shannon. They almost burnt down the hotel or the resort because they let a candle catch on fire. You got Taylor on the table scraping off candle wax because they knocked over a can. They was drunk boots. They were so drunk. So we then see a scene with Emily, Gina, and Heather in their room basically trying to debrief after that whole situation. And Emily was basically like, this is weird. Y'all don't think it's weird that Jen never has a reaction when they come at her about Ryan? And Heather was like, yeah, it's weird, but what else do they want from her at this point? And then Emily talks about, I be looking at her, and I looked at her when they said that, and there was like no emotion there. And then I think Heather was like, I think that's just her coping mechanism, y'all. But Gina is like, I'm going to check on Jen because at this point, Like at this point, bro, I don't know. Like you keep getting raked over the coals. Like I don't know. I hope she's okay. So it's the next day and they go to the private beach club. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. They're there. They're all wearing their swimsuits. And before Tamra and them get there, Taylor ends up telling them how she don't know if Shannon is gonna come because after Emily, Heather, Gina, and Jen left, they were trying to convince Shannon to wear the bikini, but Shannon hasn't really been feeling really comfortable in her body. And she was like, the last time I was on TV in a swimsuit, I was like 30 pounds lighter. And she was like, when I'm not doing well, it reads all over my body. It reads all over my body. And I don't think I can do this. And they were just like, no, you're so beautiful. You're so beautiful, Shannon. As someone who is fat, when I'm commiserating about my body, that doesn't mean I think I'm ugly. I know I'm fat. And y'all be telling on yourselves because just because I say I'm fat don't mean I think I'm ugly, sis. Like fat and ugly are not synonymous. It's a lot of fat women out here who are fine as hell. Okay? So what we talking about? See, y'all be telling on yourselves. Y'all be telling because girl, I ain't never said I was ugly. Never been that, don't know what it is. But I know I'm fat. Like what we doing? What we doing now? No, ma'am. So they're like, oh, I hope she comes. So then everybody gets there and we find out that Shannon did in fact put on the swimsuit. She looked fine. Like there was nothing really wrong with it. And they all decide to do water aerobics. Stuff is hard. Water aerobics is so hard. Like I remember being at the YMCA. Me and my friends were fooling around in the pool. I think I was like in high school. Yeah, we did have a YMCA, but I was in high school. We were like in the water, play fighting and all this stuff, and then we saw them like the instructor doing a class. We tried to do the moves. You talk about I was tired. I think I did 3 moves and I let it go. And I was looking at people who were like 5 decades or 4 decades older than me, like doing it with ease, like Burfan and Barbara was in that water getting it. And I said, girl, no ma'am. No ma'am. So they all had fun. When they get out the pool, you hear Taylor called Emily saying that she looks like Mrs. Doubtfire. And then they bring up Heather's comment about calling Emily Snuffleupagus because they went to the water park that was on their resort and Heather says she looked like Snuffleupagus, meaning like her hair. I said to Heather, that don't correlate because I would have been like, oh, Snuffleupagus with her eyelashes because Snuffleupagus has huge eyelashes. I mean, Snuffleupagus is hairy, but I guess not Taylor, but Heather was like, I didn't mean it as a dig. It was a compliment. Like, I think Snuffleupagus is cute. I said, okay, girl. I was like, okay. But they didn't even get into it. They kind of squashed it because Emily was basically told Heather, I can match your energy. Like you may have not meant it that way, but I like you were trying to be funny. And Heather was like, not really, but I didn't want you to take it that way. So then Emily pretty much said, I can take a joke, so you should be able to take a joke. So don't be so sensitive, pretty much. That's what she basically told Heather. So what we really want to talk about is this conversation at this table. The ladies sit down to have lunch. And the way the seating table goes, it's Taylor, Shannon, Jen, Gina, Emily. No. Taylor, Shannon, Jen, Gina, Vicky, Emily, Tamra, Heather. So they're sitting down and Gina's whispering to Jen like, girl, does it not bother you that they be talking about your man like so freely? And Jen was like, yeah, the effing bothers me. Yeah, it really effing bothers me. So then you hear Tamra being like, oh, I heard an F-bomb. What y'all talking about? I heard an F-bomb. So Jen brings up like, girl, we're talking about what happened last night. But Gina says we're talking about what was shared last night. That like, y'all keep bringing up her relationship and Vicky's comment. So Vicky's like, you bringing up the comment. You're bringing up the comment. So Jen finally is like, yeah, like, they're like, say something, Jen. So Jen basically was like, yeah, like I don't. She was like, I've only known Vicky for a short time. So then Vicky's like, yeah, because I got fired, because I got fired, because I got fired. I'm like, okay, Vicky, we know you got fired. Let it go, lady. Let it go. You got other jobs. Let it go. So Jen is like, you know, that's not what I meant. I'm saying, like, I don't know you, but you're talking about my relationship. And so Vicky was like, well, I heard I got things from a friend. And Jen is like, who's your friend? And Vicky looking at her like, Tamra, girl, like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, who else would tell me this stuff? So you got Emily being like, ding, ding, ding. So they're sitting there, and Jen is like, Tamara, like, why are you telling people about my relationship? And so Tamara's like, well, Vicky's my best friend. We talk about everything. And I talked about your relationship. So Jen is getting increasingly more frustrated. Like, she's just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. So they start arguing back and forth. She was like, let's talk about it, Tamara, because I keep hearing stuff about you. Let's talk about it. So Jen actually brings up what she said in her confessional, where she's like, you know what? I think the girl's name is Alex. She said, Alex told me that you came to her asking for information, and Tamara was like, she's lying. She sent it to me. She said her and Ryan got into a fight, and she sent me the stuff. And so she was like, what did she send you? And she told me that I found out her and Ryan had been messing around for a year. And Jen's like, I already knew that. Like, she was like, that was before we got together. And Tamara was like, no, during. And she was like, no, it's not. Jen and her start going back and forth about it. And they bring up the whole breakup because Jen's like, we were on a break. Like, we were on a break. So then Jen is trying, no, Gina's trying to tell Jen, like, girl, I don't think she's lying. Although I don't agree with the way she's doing it. It's just like, why are you being with someone who isn't like respecting you? Like, you think you deserve that? Which nobody wants to hear that while they're in an argument. So they're going back and forth. Heather is like, oh my God, y'all, I just wanted to have a good day. I just wanted to have a good day. I just wanted to have a good day. Vicky is tired and freaking out. Like, she's kind of like shocked that Tamra blurted out that Ryan and Alexis, or whoever this girl name is, have been messing around for a year. Jen is like, I already know all the tea that you're bringing up. Like, what do you want from me? So then Tamra was like, I don't want you to be with Ryan. He's not a good person. Like, I don't want you to be with him. And Jen is kind of like, it's my choice if I want to be with him. So they're going back and forth. And Tamara's just like, you deserve better. Like, you know, I should have learned my lesson with Vicky and Brooks, but I didn't. And Vicky, I think, says something that I agree with. Just because you tell somebody this doesn't mean like they need to go through it for themselves. And that's where Jen is at. She need to go through it for herself. And so Tamara's like, and so Jen is like, why do you keep telling me this stuff? Why do you keep exposing it to me in this way? And Tamara's like, because every time I tell you something, you don't have any emotions about it. You look me dead in my face like you're not feeling any, like you don't have any feelings. And Jen was like, because that's how I cope. Because it's hard. It's hard to look at what's happening around me. I go inward because it's hard. So then everybody got quiet at the table because that's a real statement. Like, there's some people who that is their way of coping, is to go inward. But like Jen said, it's not very helpful because when she explodes, she explodes. So then I think what really sealed the deal for Jen and Tamara's relationship is Tamara said, you effed up your marriage for this guy. And Jen was like, no, I didn't. I didn't leave my husband for him. But she was just like, that's low. That's low for you to say. And then the episode ends out with Tamara's, the infamous meme that I ain't gonna lie, I like to use. It's my opinion from Tamara. So it flashes back to the table, and Jen is like in tears, wiping her tears. She gets up from the table with Taylor because Taylor's like, you want to go for a walk? And honestly, Jen is in her confessional like, I'm done with Tamra. And I think the comment about her destroying her marriage for Ryan really like just sent her, because maybe that's a narrative she's been fighting ever since she got with him. No, not maybe. That is a narrative she's been fighting ever since she got with Ryan. But if I was Jen at this point, it would be nothing nothing for me to go up and smack Tamra in the face. And I'm not, we're not condoling violence, but Tamra has been very violent towards Jen at this point. Every time you get around this lady, you are embarrassing her. And it's just like, you keep trying to expose things about her relationship that she already knows. Like, I think the thing is, I think Tamara's upset that Jen knows this information and she's still choosing to stay. And you can be upset, but that's up to her. And like Heather said in her confessional, what more do y'all want for her? Like, what is the end goal? Because the way you're going about it is not helping, it's making it worse. But yeah, y'all, that is it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic and hop down in them comments below. Deuces.